Hi, and welcome to week 2 of our English 102 course. I'm going to start here at this screen to remind everyone that you should avoid that activity stream and always click on courses when you come on into Blackboard, and then go ahead and click on our class. Oops, that's not ours. Click on our class to get going. I want to start this week by going over the announcements because there are several of them. And I want to make sure that you've hit all of them. These were our old announcements about getting started. Most of you have done a good job getting started, although some of you have missed a few things, but maybe you'll take care of those over the weekend. I'm doing this on Friday, so maybe you'll have it taken care of by then. This one is read now urgent. This is that Lawson is expecting students to complete their registration by paying their bills and applying their financial aid. If you are paying in an installment program, you need to have made 2 installment payments or roughly half of what you owe. So make sure that you check that out. This is a note about Criterion software. I'm actually going to go ahead and open this and make sure people have seen it and understood it. I'm asking you to purchase Criterion for this class. There is no required textbook for this class, just the Criterion software, but the Criterion software is required. I'm asking you to purchase it now so that they have time to send it to you before you need it. But I did have a couple of students say that they were waiting to do the diagnostic until they had Criterion. You don't need it for the diagnostic. I'm not asking you to use it for the diagnostic. When you sign up, there's no assignment there that says diagnostic. So please don't. If you were waiting for this, go ahead and please take care of that diagnostic essay in week 1. You will need to use Criterion in week 3, 4, or 5, but not in week 1. That's unreasonable. I'm asking you to get it now so that they'll have time to send it to you. Once you have your software, you sign up, you go to the Criterion Access Information button, and the access code is there that I provide, but you have to use the serial number, and that's what you purchased at the bookstore. So make sure that you've looked at that announcement. There's also an announcement here that's asking you to join the Remind app for our class, and there are instructions here for how to do that, and that's also in this week's work. All right, so a reminder, there were 3 quizzes in the Start Here menu from last week. If you have not taken care of, if you haven't read this or watched this or read this or taken this quiz, etc., please back up and do everything in here, including checking your ProctorU readiness and taking that ProctorU readiness quiz. In week 3, there will be a quiz saying, have you signed up for your exam time, and for you to put in a screenshot of that exam time. I don't want you to leave it to the last minute to take care of those problems if you're facing them. And if you are facing them, to give yourself plenty of time before the midterm to deal with them. Okay, so required textbooks. Again, reiterate, we're not buying one. The Criterion Access information you need from me is here in that Start Here menu. There are, as I say, 3 quizzes in there, so please make sure you've taken all of those before you move on. Our course readings, which we're going to start with this week, are here. And I open them as they are required of you. So right now there are 10 poems visible to you, and you should read all 10, please. Okay? In our weekly assignments, I'll show you those. You'll see that the red wheelbarrow, and that was part of a video that I posted last week, the red wheelbarrow, the road not taken, mending wall, brown girl dead, daybreak in Alabama, brass spittoons, the fish, bean eaters, a ball is for throwing, and dolor. Now, not all of these will be covered in the class discussion that I've posted, but you are welcome to discuss any of them in discussion board or any that interest you. Okay, so we are, remember that you had, I'm just going to review week 1 in case you missed anything. There was a quiz a diagnostic essay, and a graded assignment. As of you watching this video, those are overdue, so make sure that those are done, please. Okay, we are now entering week 2. I did make week 2 available on Friday in case anyone wanted to use the weekend to work ahead. There's your to-do list. There's the reminder for joining Remind and how to do it. It's here, and then there's a quiz. I'm going to open this quiz and have you take a look at it together with me real briefly. In this quiz, it shows you the instructions for signing up for Remind, and then there are 4 possible answers. Any one of these answers will earn you 10 points on this, but this is an auto grade question in an auto grade quiz, and that means that it may deduct points from you initially, but when I grade the quizzes at the end of week 2 or at the beginning of week 3, I will correct that. So you're going to sit with a bad grade for 5 minutes or so, and that's okay. I'll fix it. Please be patient and wait for the correction to be made. You don't need to email me and tell me that something's wrong. It's designed this way. Any of these answers will earn you full credit, but that full credit will be assigned to you in week 3. So please just be patient there. Okay. So get signed up with Remind. The readings in set 1. Now, when I go over these readings, remember I list them for you here, but they are located in the course readings module above. I ask you to practice active reading, and as part of encouraging you to read actively, I give you these instructions. As you read, keep a log of the words you don't know, look them up when you're done reading, and reread knowing those words. I suggest reading the poems out loud and keeping some reading notes. Who's the author? What's the literal meaning? What patterns do you observe in the poem, rhyme or meter? What lines repeat? What larger meaning do you think the poem has? What confused you about the poem? And if you are able to do that, you can use that log or those notes on the quiz that's coming up. There is a lesson on these poems. This is a live recording of the class I have that was discussing these. And I would love for you to just watch our discussion so that you can have that live class experience at least a little bit. Also, there's a live lesson on literary terms that goes with this literary terms list. I would advise you to take this, I'm actually going to move this quiz. I'm going to move it down to after the poetry terms quiz because I think knowing those terms like refrain and things like that is important before you take that quiz, because I'm asking some questions about the readings that ask you to apply some of these terms. So make sure you watch and learn those terms, and then take your terms quiz, and then take your readings quiz for the week. Okay, so as you're doing things in general in Blackboard, remember that I've put them in here in the order they should be done. So don't skip anything. Do these things and do them in order. Okay. The discussion board has to be done after you've read the poems and maybe even listened to the discussion on poems. I know that my students got to discuss or listen to me discussing the poems before they wrote this discussion board. The discussion board is due, your initial post is due in the beginning of the week. It's due on Wednesday, and then your responses to 3 of your peers are due by Sunday. 2 paragraphs, 8 to 10 sentences, so not super long. Which of the poems from this week you like best and why, and which of the poems you like the least and why. This is just getting you to process those poems and articulate what it is you like and what it is you don't like. I know there will be things you don't like, and I didn't get it isn't a really very good analysis of why you didn't like something. So I'm trying to bring that out of you a little bit. The poetry reader response assignment is here, and it says, in a 10 to 12 sentence paragraph, please tell me about a theme that you see run through more than one of the poems that we have read so far. Aim for 3 poems. Please explain how the theme works in each poem and why you think the theme is important. How each poem deals with the theme in similar ways and how each poem deals with the theme differently in its own unique way. So in order to do this, we need to make sure you understand what a theme is. A theme is just an idea that runs through a whole poem. And here we're looking at it as something that runs through more than one poem. So a theme might be poverty or dignity in work, or a theme might be hope or hopefulness, or a theme might be, oh, let's see, you might have the theme of racial discrimination, or you might have the theme of struggles, or you might have the theme of, I don't know, I've listed a bunch. You think of some themes. That's what I'd like you to do, is read those poems and think about those themes and think about a theme that goes through those poems. So there are a lot of little things for you to do this week. None of them should take a huge amount of time in themselves, but I think it would be great to pace yourself and maybe do a little bit each day. And then you won't ever have a giant chunk of things to do. If at any point you need to reach me during the week to ask a question, you are welcome to join any of the live sessions that I'm offering. Those are listed here under hours and contact information. I am going to have to update the hours that I'm offering because the Wednesday noon one I can't offer anymore because Hoover schools are now home on Wednesdays and I don't have childcare. So I'm going to change that. I'll still host the Wednesday evening one, but I won't take it away from you, but I'm going to switch it to a different day other than Wednesdays. I still will be holding Tuesday, Thursday noon classes, Friday 9 a.m. And so you can pop into those help sessions if you need to ask a question. You can also email me at aswanberg@lawsonstate.edu. That's also here in the contact information. Please do not use the messages button. It does not alert me that you've sent me anything. Reach out if you need help as you're working, and I look forward to seeing your work.